rolling.
We're rolling.
We're rolling.
It's podcast time. I'm going to drive from over here. James is in the driver's seat. My name is Mitch Dyer. This is ign Arena, episode 20, the last one before the holidays. We have a 5-stack today. Joining me, as always, Brian Albert.
Hey, everybody.
To my left instead of my right. It's weirding me out. James Faulkner
Hi.
in my seat.
Sorry, I needed to drive today.
That's fine. James is the tech wizard.
Wheels of steel.
Sure.
What is that?
Kyle O'Connor, welcome back.
Hello.
We're going to talk about a lot of Dota today, but you're going to bring us back with some League talk. And joining you to help you out and help you and James, because Brian and I are useless. Miranda Sanchez, our newest hire.
Hi.
Welcome. You're here to
Thanks.
talk about League of Legends and Dota, because you're one of the few of us who is well-versed in both.
Yeah, I play all sorts of MOBAs. Vainglory, Adventure Time, Battle Party.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
That's where it's at.
Why don't we
No,
talk about
it's
that
beautiful.
game? It's really awesome.
I love it.
You should mention the tournament you could not play.
So, Adventure Time Battle Party, based off the Cartoon Network series Adventure Time. And there was a tournament. I was like, what? It's online. It's super easy. I want to do it. And the maximum age you could be to enter the tournament was 16. So I was like, just kidding. It's like,
That's
Ages.
Oh.
yeah.
sad and
Every once in a while,
amazing.
she'll send me a message and be like, hey, let's play Adventure Time. I'll be like,
It's a baby game. It's literally a baby game.
No.
Crispy loves that game.
I know.
Because it's apparently really good.
It is.
We should play it and do
Why
a
is it
segment.
good?
It's,
I'm still wrapping my mind around
Is
it.
it
I feel
5v5?
no, it's 3v3.
Is
So it's
it like
small.
3-lane map?
It's not
2
mobile,
lanes.
right? Like it is PC. It's like
It is PC. It's in
big-
your browser. Just
Okay.
jump in.
It's in
So
the browser too.
yeah, so it kind of sucks sometimes because you'll have people just drop out and they're just gone.
Thanks,
You're
Obama.
done.
There's not a robust rewards and punishment system.
Yeah, so it's like,
in this
oh, yeah, see ya.
browser game.
No, yeah, so that's it. They're gone. So sometimes you'll have that issue and guests can play. You don't have to have an account. Super easy to jump in.
That's rad.
And then, of course, you'll get tons of people who don't know how to play a MOBA, and that's fine because it's kind of, like, easy to get into. Like, you only have 3 abilities. And I like it because it's only 15 minutes. Like, that's the max time you can have.
Does the game end?
Yeah,
At
it just
15
ends.
minutes?
It's also point-based, so if you don't destroy, the enemy base, you have, whoever wins is based on points at that point.
Huh.
So,
That's interesting.
yeah, so
Okay.
you got 15
play.
minutes.
We
Well
should.
played.
Yeah. Let's play this over the break. When we
Yeah.
come back in the new year, 2015 will be the year of Adventure Time.
I just
Good.
all I can picture is me raging at my computer about getting killed by like
By Jake the
Hellraiser
dog.
99. Like, oh my god, this is ridiculous.
Our jungler is trash.
You're trash. Go.
Our Finn sucks.
Last minute update before the end of the year for Dota 2. We were promised a winter update despite the fact that Frostivus is not happening. So we did get the Shifting Snows update announced this week. And then surprisingly, 6.83, the balance patch, launched days later. So this week, 6.83 launched. Brian,
What's up?
have you played it? Have
No.
you played a game in 6.83 yet?
No, I have not.
So what do you... Okay, has anybody yet?
Nope.
You
Wow,
have.
I'm the only one.
Oh,
yeah.
I have. I played a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kyle,
no, I-
Well, it came
Dota
out
player.
yesterday, and then we were all...
We had the company holiday party. So
We did,
we're
so
kinda
there was no
busy.
Dota this week.
I read them patch notes.
Yeah, so
there's some cool stuff.
There's a lot to go over, and I don't want to go over every single update, but generally what I'm noticing is that heroes are getting major buffs. We're seeing Valve really lean into the 6.82 update of more violent team fights, less focus on objectives, and they're actually kind of reducing the value of objectives by making the barracks are worth less. Certain heroes that could attack buildings with skills like Sniper no longer affect buildings when they attack them.
Right. He was very unique in that you could siege an enemy from super far away. You just throw your shrapnel down, and it does very minor damage, but it's
But it
constant
works,
shit.
yeah. So now, I mean, in that specific example, now he has that coming in bursts of 3. He can throw down 3 things of shrapnel at a time, but they do, I think, even less damage.
Yeah, and it's on a charge system. That's sort of a thing we
Yeah.
don't see often. You have like Ember Spirit's remnants that he shoots out, and that's on a charge system. And
Yeah.
now Ricky's ultimate is now a charge system, and it seems like they're kind of putting more of those in there.
Did you say Ricky?
Ricky.
Ricky.
There's
R-I-K-I.
Ricky Maru.
Okay. There's. Oh, okay. So never mind. I thought there was just like a champion just called Ricky.
I mean, yeah.
He's
Yep.
the Trailer Park Boys star. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot of the buffs to characters come in the form of increased damage, increased stun time, and reduced cooldowns at the expense of one of those. Like, if somebody has an increased... Like, Lina has increased damage on Dragon Slave and an increased stun time on the Light Strike Array, but all of that comes at the expense of, like, a few more seconds of cooldown.
Right. Yeah, and we're just seeing more, buffs on underused and losing characters and
Techies. I mean, Techies got a buff that is, like, kind of infuriating in that its bombs do more damage in the early game, but at the same time, hey, that will make techies more viable.
I love that Valve does that. They're not like, this character has strengths and weaknesses, so to make them better, we're going to reduce their strengths. They don't do that. They just make their strengths stronger, usually.
Yeah.
So I'll gonna list off 3 of my favorite things from this badge.
Hit me.
Ready? Let's
Queen
see
of Pain.
Oh my god,
She's
she's so dumb.
She's so powerful now.
We played 2 games on 6.83 this week. The day it launched, we were about to queue for a game, and it launched while we were about to queue. So we all updated and we all jumped into a game. And friend of the show, Crispy, friend of ours, plays Queen of Pain because he looks at the update for Queen of Pain, and it is absolutely absurd. Her update
Doesn't it go through like magic immunity?
So her blink range is now increased from. It used to scale upwards 700 to 850 to 1,000 to 1,150 units. Which, by the end of the game, 1,150 units is quite a lot. It's a blink dagger.
It's almost a blink dagger, yeah.
Now it is more than a blink dagger. It's just a base range of 1,300. So she can now, from her tower, blink across the river. It's insane. It doesn't even make any sense. So Crispy was able to just dive nonstop. Like, Queen of Pain is now a hero that...
What's the cooldown?
6 seconds.
Cooldown went from 12-10-8-6 to 15-12-9-6. So the cooldown is more. But
earlier, but it's
earlier,
it's
yeah.
the same thing.
So in the early game, she can blink very far across. She can, catch somebody off guard. If I'm going to rotate mid and gank an enemy mid while he's playing Queen of Pain, that's a free kill because he can come out of nowhere while that mid thinks he's fine because he can take a witch doctor.
Sounds like a nightmare.
It's brutal. And the kill count in the first 10 minutes of the game was triple what it usually is because he was just experimenting. And Crispy's a very aggressive player, but he was going for it. And Queen of Pain is absurd.
Yeah, she's always been a good mid laner because she has a great attack animation. She has a dot. She has some burst abilities to nuke down a creep wave. But once enemies got BKBs, she was just done. And now her ult is pure damage.
Instead of it pierces spell immunity.
Yeah,
right.
Which is just
so she's not gonna stop being worthless, or she's gonna stop being worthless at like the 25-minute mark, what used to happen.
She's now viable for a full game for the first time in a while.
Yeah, you've seen people like Lena got that treatment when they increased her ult. Her Laguna Blade is now like pure damage when she gets her Ags. Is that correct?
The Aghanim Scepter pierces
match immunity. Yeah.
So number two.
Ready.
They made Gyrocopter's missile. You can shove it with a Force Staff.
Right.
So this, basically, this character can. What's the equivalent in League? I can never remember. Corki.
Yeah, but there's nothing that functions like
No.
his missile.
He just looks like Corki.
Yeah, he looks like Corki.
So basically, he drops a missile on the ground, and it very slowly chases after somebody. If it gets hit 4 or 5 times by the enemy team, missile explodes. Ally doesn't get
and
stunned.
It's just slow at first and gets faster. And when you see it coming after you, you're just like,
it stuns you.
You know it's coming. You see it for like
kind of like an elite spider or Malazar creature.
Yeah, but it's
the
much
translation.
longer range. Like think you could do from like your tier 2 to like their tier 1.
Oh yeah, I was just trying to equate it with like something that chases slowly and has a health bar.
Yeah. No, it's good because it's helpful, right? Because not
Yeah.
everyone who listens to the show listens to it for Dota, so it's helpful to have those kind of translations.
Yeah.
Now there's an item that you can use. If you point it at an ally, they jump forward like a few hundred units in the direction they were facing. Now you can use that on the missile to just kind of pump it forward a little bit.
Wow.
Which is so good.
Wow.
And James, number
What's
3.
Up? Number 3, which is the saddest, is they nerfed Tidehunter super hard. Like super hard.
And not even directly. It's a lot of indirects.
It was the nerf on the cooldown timer for refresher.
Yeah.
So the map change for the dire side off lane was a nerf to Tidehunter because he can't stack agents for Blink Dagger as effectively. And now he's just getting hit.
Yep.
The hits keep on coming.
His movement speed is reduced by 5. Ravage damage was reduced, so it's basically useless at the end of the game.
It got reduced by 20%. And then there was a nerf to Refresher Orb, which is his go-to second item after Blink Dagger.
So now, like, I don't know, is Tide going to be as useful as a solo offlaner as he ever was?
I mean,
or should he go back to being a pure support?
I mean, no, I don't think he'll be that the top pick offlaner anymore. I still think he'll be a contested pick. I just don't think he will be like the end all be all offlaner.
I mean, a massive, difficult to avoid AoE stun that can hit a whole team is stupid powerful, even if the damage is reduced.
Yeah, I just feel like his early farming with Ravage, with
Kraken Shell and Anchor Smash.
Yeah, it's not going to be as effective as it was. Like, it was so easy to farm. No, he's still tanky. He's still very tanky in the early game.
It's just, there's just so many. I think he's still going to get plenty of picks. It's just like Void. Void got some nerfs. That guy's still going to
He'll
get
be
He's
fine.
still fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Void is fine.
But then we see buffs to other
Totally
characters
fine.
who are definitely going to be getting more playtime. Like Wind Ranger will be picked significantly more.
That is my favorite change in this whole
Because
thing.
her attack speed, like the maximum attack speed in Dota went up 100. Went up like 20%.
Yep.
So her ultimate is that she fires at max attack speed very, very, very fast.
But
lots
cannot
and lots
change
of
targets.
shots. Exactly. So she can commit to a building or a target. She plants her feet and
It's
just
stupid.
unloads rapid fire
Yeah.
arrows.
Wow.
So if you were to like throw a Daedalus on her and now her attack speed is up to 600 as opposed to the usual 500, she's just going to rip people to pieces.
Yeah, there's some like Ursa gets max attack speed for 4
Yep.
hits.
So he'll be jungling much faster.
Yeah.
He'll be leveling much faster. Roshan will be taken down much faster.
Sounds like a siege setup. Like you just
Big time.
defend her and let her plant. and just
Also,
melt stuff.
her power shot is so long.
That's
now.
my favorite
Oh my
thing.
Yeah.
Gosh, so
So-
much vision.
I don't know who this champ is in League, but apparently there's a person who can shoot just like a giant laser across a map, pretty much.
Lux, but
Lux
like
has a big range.
I would consider like he's almost kind of like Varus, like Varus's Q. Where you,
Oh, okay, yeah.
but you don't have to charge it up. You just fire it off
Right.
and it goes. Or
All I want is a long range spell that hits someone from crazy far away that isn't like Sniper's Assassinate. It's not like, oh, you lock on and like hopefully it hits them and they
Oh.
don't disjoint it.
Good news.
This is like a targeted skill.
Because the power shot is now at 2600 range.
That is
That's double a blink dagger.
so if you're a sniper who has like the Assassinate lock on ultimate, if you like zoom out your camera as far as you can, you see like this green range of
Yeah.
this skill, and it's like almost bigger than the screen.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Almost bigger than your visible area. This is almost that, and it's targeted like free skill shot.
Oh,
So
I love it.
People are gonna get crazy pickoffs.
Oh yeah, like when a team fight goes badly and the four of us are running away, like we're running backward in the off lane, we're just going straight up. Brian's just going to take a power shot and rip through all four of us.
Is it? It's not the ult, right? Did you say it was the?
It's
No,
not the ult.
it's
No,
like her
okay.
basic level 1
Okay, so it's kind of like a Xerath. His Q. Is it his Q?
yeah, but like think
No charge.
Well, think with Lux's
Range?
Lux's range, yeah.
Oh, that sounds magical.
So what's gonna happen is over edited stupid Dota videos are gonna be full of those.
Oh, yeah.
Swag shots.
Swag,
Yeah.
hype reels, yes.
Oh yeah.
So there was a bunch of other like significant changes to like melee barracks are now worth significantly less. The Granite Golem's health is down, but he can now heal allies in an area. So while you're jungling that camp, he might be like healing those around him.
Miranda, what do you think that they buffed Viper's HP by 300?
Don't talk to me. Just don't talk to me. I'm off.
Can we,
ign-arena was
can we
good.
go over this?
See ya.
People who don't know this, let's learn a little bit about Miranda Sanchez.
So
Tell me about Viper.
I don't think I'm allowed to say it. So like
You can't say the words you want to say?
yes.
Yeah, avoid
pretty-
profanity.
It's lots
Big
of
old jerk.
profanity.
Why-
Anyway,
Scathing.
Why do you
so
hate him?
Viper, as a support player, is just like I see him and I just want to throw up. I just
Why?
why are
He's
you
just a big-
here?
He's a big green airplane.
He's
He's fine.
Awful,
big green
and he's
airplane.
ugly, and all of his attacks just
And his
like
mom
do-
hates him.
Yeah, he probably does. He's probably kicked out of the house.
So pretty much Viper's entire existence is to slow you
Slow-
down and do damage over time.
Yep.
Like literally all of his abilities
So
slow
Teemo.
you in some.
And except for just his, like, he can repeatedly slow you.
Yep.
Oh, so it's not
Over-
like,
Like
a
he has a
mushroom or.
No, it's not
free
just- yeah.
constant attack that he spits on you that slows your attack and move speed. If you
His right click
if you
has done.
attack him, your attack speed is lowered. If he uses his ult on you, you're slow even more. So like you just can't get away from him if you don't know what you're doing.
Sounds like it.
And if you're a support, you can't get away anyway,
Yeah, so
even
she's
if you
always
know what
these
you're doing.
squishy, slow characters
Yeah,
who just are
so-
food for Viper.
Yep. So it's just the worst. I hate him
He didn't get touched in this.
so much.
In this update. He's fine. That means he's perfect the way he is.
No, no. They just need to delete him. Just take his code, just trash it. It's fine.
Serious oversight in this conversation. Rashawn now wears a Santa hat,
Yeah.
and it's the actual best thing I've ever seen.
Baron has a Santa hat on now too.
Yes,
That's
it
pretty.
is
can be
so
bros.
good.
Yeah, they are. I
Happy
thought they were
holidays.
bros.
Probably are. Meet up.
They bro down.
Bloodseeker and Techies were added to Captain's mode.
Yes,
Which
that's gonna be.
I'm excited to see because Bloodseeker does not play the way he used to play. I was listening to a podcast recently and they were saying like, why would you even farm him? Like, I'm sure his right click gets stronger. That's great, but his skills now don't really need farm. He can just leave and gank early.
Yeah. So the way when I started playing Dota a year ago, you were playing a lot of Bloodseeker at the time, and what that meant was you would go mid and you would farm up a lot of creeps. You would maybe have me rotate to get a gank on mid, maybe if I would listen to you, and then you would just farm, and by the end of the game, you would just rely on someone to stun somebody, and then you would just rip them to pieces.
Yep.
That's not really a viable option for him anymore. Now it's like he comes into an area, suddenly everyone in the area is silenced, and he is able to just like gank an entire lane by himself.
Yeah, he's now a ganking hero who doesn't need items to do what he doesn't need to be as effective with items as he was before. He can just use his skills.
His ult.
Yeah, he needs Rupture.
Yeah.
Because he has a skill that makes it, if you move, you take damage, and then he has a skill that if you don't move out of its radius, you're going to be silenced and take pure damage. So he ruptures you, puts the thing down, and you're like, what do I do?
Do you think the new Bloodseeker is viable as a support?
Yeah, absolutely. He can set up kills.
Interesting.
He can stop people from running away from team fights at the end.
Everything's a support as long as you're not scared.
If you
That's a
pair
good
him
point.
with any sort of AoE stun, he could potentially capture the entire enemy team in a 6-second silence. That's like Silencer's ult.
Basically.
Yeah, but with
In a
like
small
a
area,
with a nice
obviously.
chunk of pure damage. Right, but like it's pretty big. Like
Is
if you had
pure
a
damage
reasonable
like true damage?
What?
Is pure damage like true damage in League?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry, carry on.
No,
Same
it's
thing.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll
I-
be interesting to see how this affects the meta. And you pointed at my laptop to talk about this, I presume.
Yes.
So that I want to do as a separate topic
Okay,
because
we'll do that later.
we have to talk about some new stuff in Dota and the way it's handling its marketplace. But does anyone else have any parting thoughts on 683?
Dazzle.
What did Dazzle get?
He got attack range increase.
He got a minor attack range
very
increase
baby.
of 50.
But
All right.
Dazzle's my favorite, so yay, Dazzle.
Game changer.
Good job,
Going
Dazzle.
to the top of the meta now.
Yeah.
I got one last thing that I really like.
Hit me.
I play Morphling.
Yeah.
I'm not super great with him, but I like him. He doesn't get used. a
You're
lot.
super great with Morphling. You get like 25 kills per game.
But I
Feeder.
No, kills.
I can't
I
seal
know.
the deal
I'm
of
just
it.
messing with you.
Like I'll get a lot of kills, and then the late game will come around, and
And we
just
don't
won't
do
win.
anything to help you.
So he has an instant stun attack. He can shift his stats, and basically, if you shift him a certain way, he has a stun that's just, it's not a projectile you can avoid. It's not like a toss lob thing. He just is like right there on them, and they're stunned. And that now is like 4.25 seconds at max. That's a massive unavoidable stun. One of the
4
longest.
seconds stun. That's
Yeah, like there's a character who throws out an arrow that goes perfectly straight, and if it hits them from its max range, it'll do 5 seconds of stun.
I think Ash's ult.
Yeah, like you have to usually work for them. Like techies have a mine that you have to hope they walk over, and then they'll get stunned for like 5 or 6 seconds. This is just
Targetable.
boom, like you just
So at
stun.
this point,
one of the
like,
long stuns.
Morphling is now somebody who can work with like Bane or Mirana or Sven, and it's just endless stuns forever.
Support Morphling, which we've talked about, I think, in the
I
past.
have.
that's
you
what I
guys
was
talk
about to
about
say.
that.
Sounds like a support.
Is
Yeah.
so legit. Morphling is like the hardest, one of the hardest carries in Dota, but he's also like an incredible support because he's invincible in the early game because his health is so high, and you can shift all of his stats to become pure strength. So he's all HP, but he's like super slow.
Oh, we should say one last thing.
Okay.
Like probably the most important part of this update.
Yes.
Is that illusions now deal less damage to towers.
Yeah, and
Yay.
that's something that, I mean, we talk a little bit about this when 6.82 came out, but like they are de-emphasizing objectives, and that is never clearer than in 683. Not only are team fights getting more of an emphasis via stat changes, skill changes, buffs, all these things, but yeah, the illusion thing is crazy.
Yeah,
Sieges
they're-
are less effective with illusions.
They're hero. Like if you see someone pick Naga, you're like, well, this game's gonna last 50 minutes at least. People who can just rat out and take towers with illusions, Terrorblade, Naga, Phantom Lancer, they are going to be less effective now. And towers are, well, at least barracks are worth less. So I don't think. Hopefully we don't see those heroes picked as often because I don't really like watching them in pro games.
Miranda, does this change much for you and I who play like hard support roles? Do you think?
Not too much. I mean, well, I feel like a lot of what these updates have been doing this year, anyway, for support people like us, is giving us more money. Like that's just like that's like what I think about. It's like
basically
how
it.
much
A
money
lot of starting
do I
items are
throw?
cheaper.
Yeah,
now.
they're reducing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of like the beginning items that we have to buy so much cheaper and just easier. So I think in the beginning we're just gonna have to be more cautious, like just protect, babysit more, kind of just as much as you can, because if there is,
Protect me.
yeah, it's okay, you'll live.
I
We
need
got
help.
your back.
Yeah. So with less of an emphasis on that push, because like even like Jakiro's Liquid Fire got nerfed a little bit. So
He was one of the strongest heroes in the game
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, his Liquid Fire, bread and butter, super good, and that got taken down. So we definitely see that less emphasis on the push.
Right.
And
That
now
skill allowed him to melt towers.
it feels like the
pretty
early
quickly.
game is gonna like take a lot longer. Like early and mid are gonna be a lot more important now.
I agree. I hope that's the case anyway.